Christian conservative Republicans are no different than liberal, communist, socialist Democrats. They're no different than them. Zero, they're the same. Except that one side of the road has taken different views than the other side of the road. And then they come together in the middle of the road and they're fighting because they both think they're right and they fight. And then when the fight is done with whatever side, they go back to their side of the road. Both sides turn on each other and fight because you may disagree with one thing or agree, and they may agree, and they'll form an army and turn on each other, and they fight. The Christians, conservative, Republicans, the representatives and the voters are as bad as the Democrats. The representative and voter Democrats, they're no different. They all fight. And they all agree until they don't agree. You say or do one thing that goes against their idea of what is right, because it's just an idea. Human beings don't know. We don't know what's right or wrong. And that's why we play God, because we've been taught what's right and wrong. And it's based on what you've been told is right. And you hang on to that, and then you fight anyone that disagrees. And you're wrong. Because if you truly knew right, you would not be fighting. If you truly knew what was right, you would not be fighting. You would lay your weapon down. Christ said, lay your weapon down. I'll fight your battle for you. But they're no different. They turn on each other when they can't get to the other people. And it's the darndest thing I ever seen, but it's in the air, it's everywhere. But I got proof. Families turn on each other and fight. And they build an army, and they try to destroy you, your own family, your own mama. How many times have you heard people say, I went to mama, and I wanted to forgive her, and I told them sorry for resenting her, that I realized you can't help yourself, mama? And mama get ticked, and mama go to the weaker brothers and sisters, cousins, uncles, or somebody, and she build an army against you. And they join her army, and you haven't done anything to them. But they join mama army and go after you. Well, the Christians and conservatives do it to each other too. And the Democrats do it to each other too. They have no love. There is no love in human nature. You're not going to find anything at any point, any good in human nature. You just find thrills. You go thrills, but nothing good. And I have this story. What really made me focus on it, I counsel all the time with men and women around the world, family and individual counsel, and they all have the same problem. No love. And they fight. And they turn on each other. And they not only do they turn, they try to destroy each other. They don't just say, you know what, all right, we don't agree, that's fine. It doesn't work that way. And then your politicians, same thing. There's this female by the name of Marjorie Taylor. Her last name is Greene. Marjorie Greene, middle name Taylor. And this female, at one point, seemed so conservative and Christian and holier than thou. I spoke at a conference down in Florida with the mega group. What's that organization? AFPAC, where Christ is King. And Marjorie was there, and they loved her. Not everybody. There were some people in the crowd that didn't like her. We were sitting at a table with some people that did not like Marjorie Greene. I was like, what the? And I didn't know her that well, so I didn't understand it. But anyway, Marjorie, that's her name? Taylor Greene, at that time, was a conservative from Georgia. Georgia on my mind. And she was a Republican, and she appeared to be a strong Republican. And then the Great White Hope comes along, and Marjorie Taylor Greene loved Donald Trump. Really, she was one of the leading Republicans in supporting and loving Donald Trump because she was a Christian, and she was conservative, and she loved Donald Trump. And then, according to the report, I wasn't there, I'm just saying what the report said, something happened, and she disagreed with the Great White Hope, Donald Trump, and she became his enemy. And not only did she become she didn't say, well, I just disagree, but I like the work you're doing. You're still making America great. But I just disagree with this. We're still tight. I still support you. She didn't say that. Marjorie Greene crossed the enemy line and went over there and joined forces with the enemy of Trump and tried to destroy him. She tried to destroy him. CBS News. President Donald Trump said he would no longer support one-time close ally and Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene amidst the ongoing fallout over the Epstein files. Why is this from CBS News?
Drika, good evening to you. This weekend, President Trump says he will no longer support Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene amid the ongoing fallout over the Epstein files.
On Saturday, President Trump blasted his one-time staunch MAGA ally, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, calling her Marjorie Traitor Greene in a Truth Social post one day after referring to her as a ranting lunatic in another. On Air Force One, the president even suggested he'd be open to backing a challenger to her seat in Congress.
I'm no longer much of a fan.
Greene punching back today in a series of social media posts saying, quote, I never thought that fighting to release the Epstein files, defending women who were victims of rape, and fighting to expose the web of rich, powerful elites would have caused this. But here we are. The firebrand conservative has been a steadfast supporter of the president, often appearing by his side at campaign events.
We're going to re-elect our favorite president, the greatest president in United States history, Donald J. Trump.
The president's turn against one of his fiercest supporters takes place ahead of an upcoming House vote compelling the release of more Epstein files.
Amazing, huh? She never loved Donald Trump. It was all pretense. And it's amazing to see it. So she didn't just, I'm fine with disagreement. Okay, disagree. But why do you have to try to destroy a person? And I'm surprised. I mean, I'm not surprised now, but I didn't really know Marjorie Greene. Again, I was speaking at Nick Fuentes. That's his name, right? Nick Fuentes' conference.
Correct.
Down in Florida. And she was there, one of the speakers. And it was Christ is King. And she was smiling and agreeing. I never imagined that she would one day turn against Donald Trump. Meaning, fine disagreement, right? But she crossed the enemy line. It reminded me of, I've heard stories of military people who goes over and get information about the enemy. They cross over to the enemy territory to get information for, let's say, America, right? And they're fighting their enemies. And then while they're over there, they are seduced by the enemy with money and promises and ego stroking and stuff like that. And they turn on their own country. And they go and tell the enemy the secrets of the country so that in hope that the enemy can destroy the country. It's the same spirit in every human being until you overcome it. When Christ said, and I repeat, an angry/resentful person, because resentment is anger, cannot be trusted. An angry person cannot be trusted. I don't care who it is or what position you're supposed to be holding in life. It's so true. CBS News, February 28, 2022. She first told CBS News that she didn't know who the organizers of the event were and their views. When she spoke there, and I was there, so this ain't no hearsay. You got rounds of applause, and she spoke well about Nick Fuentes. Loved him. And now, like, who? This is in every human being. There is no love. CNN, in an exclusive interview with CNN, a female by the name of Dana Bash on the State of the Union on Sunday, Greene said she worried Trump rhetoric toward her could lead to violence against her. Watch this.
I stood with President Trump when virtually no one else did. Campaigned all over the country, spent millions of my own dollars helping him get elected. And I think that's incredibly important. And I do support him and his administration. His remarks, of course, have been hurtful. However, I have something in my heart that I think is incredibly important for our country. and that is to end the toxic fighting in politics. The most hurtful thing he said, which is absolutely untrue, is he called me a traitor. And that is so extremely wrong. And those are the types of words used that can radicalize people against me and put my life in danger.
Yeah, right. Here we go with the victim mentality. She's a victim now, a victim. I thought Marjorie Greene Taylor, whatever her name is, was already getting threats from the other side. If I remember correct, I'm black and slow, so I may not be remembering right. But there was a report that says that people were calling and saying that somebody was breaking in her house or she was doing something, and the police and people would show up at her house, and it wasn't happening. Something like that. Did she already say she was being attacked by the left? So how come she had, now that Trump said, well, you said allegedly she gonna be attacked. She ain't scared. I was just so scared. When she's crying, she's lying. How can you cross enemy territory? CNN is not a fan of Trump, and she knows that. She absolutely knows it. And that looked like I may be wrong. I'm just saying, but that looked like crossing the enemy territory. Every time someone turns against you, don't they go to your enemies? They go to your enemies first. There's no love in human beings. And they say, not all, say that they believe in God. How can you believe in a God or even the Son of God who is all love, nothing but love all the time, and never mind what happened through you? They still love you. Christ and his Father still love you. How can you be of love and then you can do this? How is that possible? How can you be of love and get mad at someone because they don't agree with you or they believe differently than you do? Well, that's not love. The great white hope, Donald Trump, I call him Donald Trump. Some people call him amazing. What matter of man is this: the wind and the sea obeys him. Some people call him king, and they rally around the world worshiping the king. Some people call him daddy. I call him the great white hope. He said, according to this report, he doesn't believe her life, referring to Marjorie. He doesn't believe her life is in danger. Watch this from C-SPAN.
Her life could be in danger because of the rhetoric?
Her life is in danger? Who's that?
Marjorie Taylor Greene, she says.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't think her life is in danger. Frankly, I don't think anybody cares about her. What about you?
Trader Greene, he said. It sounds like that. He's like, who? Oh, God. That is amazing. Marjorie Trader Greene, he said. Greene said she stand with the rape victim, meaning the accusers. I've told you 1,000 times, conservative, and not all, conservative Christian women are no different than liberal, democratic, non-Christian women. They don't stand with men. They don't. They'll become a victim just like that. A conservative Christian woman will take you to court and take your children away from you men as quickly or maybe quicker than a non-Christian conservative woman. Really, they don't have love. Be not deceived. A conservative Christian woman pretend to be upset that men play in women's sports, but not upset that women play in men's sports. Oh, that's fine. That's different. They say human beings do not have love. And as soon as you overcome the world, you as an individual, adult, men and women, you'll see they don't have love, but you won't judge them. You won't be mad. You won't believe I tried to love that person. I thought they loved me, and they don't. So this Greene says she stands with rape victims and says rich people shouldn't be protected if they do wrong. Watch this from CNN.
What do you think happened? What do you think is the reason for this?
Unfortunately, it has all come down to the Epstein files, and that is shocking. And, you know, I stand with these women. I stand with rape victims. I stand with children who are in terrible sex abuse situations, and I stand with survivors of trafficking and those that are trapped in sex trafficking. And I will not apologize for that. I believe the country deserves transparency in these files, and I don't believe that rich, powerful people should be protected if they have done anything wrong.
She stand with the accusers. Isn't that amazing? She stand with the accusers. I don't know if it's true or not, but she stand with the accusers. And I remember years ago they started saying, we should take women at their word. And don't ask what you had to do with it. They said, we should believe women. Not knowing or realizing that Satan is the God of the, small g, God of the woman. And that she would do anything she could to destroy you, even if it means destroying your children. So Marjorie stand with the accusers. It doesn't matter whether they're right or wrong. She stand with the accusers. That is in every nature, every woman's nature, until they start to truly overcome. And I say that because I work with women who are overcoming all that, and they are returning to the Father. They don't just take another woman's word just because she's a female. They don't believe every woman. I hear it all the time now. I don't believe every woman because they know how their own nature was. Marjorie Greene Taylor is an example of every Christian conservative woman, except for those who are now working on themselves. I want to get one other quick soundbite in, and then we'll move on. From the New York Times, Japan new prime minister drew criticism for requiring staff to work in the wee hours in a country scarred by death from overwork. Watch this from France, 24 English.
Tired commuters taking a nap on their way to the office. It's a common sight in Japan, a country notorious for its long working hours and where 40% of the population sleeps less than 6 hours a night. But even that is considered a luxury by some. Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi recently boasted of her own sleeping schedule and said she only caught between 2 and 4 hours of shut-eye each day. Last month, she called on her Liberal Democratic Party colleagues to follow suit and bury themselves in their work.
I intend to have all of you work like horses. I myself am ditching the term work-life balance. Work, 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 work.
For Japan's so-called salarymen, blue-collar workers employed by big firms, 12-hour working days have become the norm, and the workplace often takes precedence over personal and family life. Critics have long pointed to this grueling corporate culture as a major driver of exhaustion, burnout, and even death. In 2016, Japanese authorities warned 20% of the country's workforce was at risk of dying from overwork.
Wow, I did not know that. That's news to me. They would be glad those ain't black people they trying to work like that. The black people like, I ain't worried. Are you crazy? Did you know that? Hey.
I had just heard this for the first time this morning on your
My
show
producer
prep.
gave it to me.
Yeah.
Derek's so smart. He had information even hate don't have. Amazing. Right on, Derek. Put the white man to shame.
She's a whip cracker.
Yeah. Is she joking, though?
I don't think so. I think that she works like a dog. Trump famously works and only sleeps a few hours a night as well.
But Trump is not forcing other people to work like that.
Right.
Is he?
No.
Yeah.
This woman is a slave driver.
See, that's what happens. You put women in leadership role.
They go too far.
Yeah. They don't know when to and when not to.
Mm-hmm.
And those people look worn out, huh?
Yeah. Terrible.
Well, that's crazy, though. That's insane. We cannot afford to have white people to become the minority in the United States of America. Every time I hear a so-called stats, and I don't know how true they are, but they say come 2050, white people will be the minority. 2030-something, white people are going to become the minority in America. And I'm like, okay, let me know. I'm going to save my money, and I'm going to go up to outer space where the new world will begin with the white folks. and I'm going to buy some land. I'm going to go on that first load of white people that go. And apparently Elon Musk is trying to get there. And as soon as I hear that he's going, I don't care what it costs, I'm going. And I'm going to buy some land in outer space. Because I know that once the white people get there, the land prices are going up, way up, to keep the universe white. If white people become the minority, it's over for America. It's over. White people are the only one that knows how to build, create, and make things nice and beautiful and better. New ideas and everything. It's just reality. Now, I kind of know why it's that way, but I don't know why it's that way. But that is reality. Look at the people of color. And now when I say people of color, I mean the blacks and the Mexicans and the other color people. They don't make things beautiful. They don't make it better. And then that's already done. They destroy that. They did this in South Africa. Anywhere that the minority, the people of color take over, it become a hellhole. That's just reality now. Look around you. Don't get mad at me. I'm just saying it, telling you what's going on. You do not want white people to become the minority in this country. Just check with South Africa. But Elon Musk, daddy said the same thing. And I don't know if I ever heard a white man say it. If I have, I just don't remember. I'm black and slow, right? But I don't know if I have heard a white man be so honest about it without judging. He's not angry about it. He just said it. And it seemed to be out of love. This is from MSN. Errol Musk. E-R-R-O-L. Errol Musk. Father of tech billionaire Elon Musk. Musk has stirred new controversy. Why is that controversial? To tell the truth, and these white women killing these babies in their womb like now they're going, no. I mean, they have like abortion like it's tea time or something. They're not even getting pregnant anymore. They have the morning after pill or whatever they're doing to keep from getting pregnant. I know guys who told me that they go to the pharmacy and they buy those morning after pills, and the next morning they give the woman one of those pills to make sure she's not pregnant. I'm like, she take the pill? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, what the? But anyway, for $50, I'm being told, the bottle of pills. Amazing. So they kill the baby the morning after. But anyway, so this error has stirred new controversy after claiming the United States is doomed, and it is. I told you that the United States was doomed when they elected a so-called black president, the father Messiah, Barack Hussein Obama. I said, it's done. It's over. You don't want Obama. And you elected him twice, and look what happened. The country only gotten worse. The races are more divided than any other time. But he says that the United States is doomed if white Americans become the minority. Watch this from CNN.
The big concern at the moment, and why I think South Africa is a big talking point in the US right now, is America in the next 20 years will become, for the first time in its history, a minority white country.
Well, that will be a very, very bad thing to happen. You want to see the US go down? Why? Oh, you don't like cars and electric cars, and you don't like technology, or what is it? You want to go back to the jungle, or?
If the US becomes a minority white country.
Yes.
So there's Latinas, there's blacks, there's people from all different races make up the majority, and then, you know, it could be 48% white people. Do you really think the US is doomed if it goes under?
Yes, it goes under there.
Seriously?
Yes, of course.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. And he's not doing it. It does appear that he's doing it with anger, out of judgment. He's 100% right, and you all know it, I know it, everyone knows it, that if white people become the minority in America, America is doomed. You know it. Look at all the areas where non-white people left. They're not over it anymore. Nothing but doom. Nothing but destruction. The whole country will become that way. And I can't believe this guy just saying it. And it's so true. It's doom. He's like, the interviewer like, you really believe that if America become less white, it's doom? Yes. Right on, Mr. Musk. Errol Musk said that white South Africans gave food to a small group of black South Africans, and because of this, their population grew. From CNN, watch this.
You see, if you take South Africa, we have a small white population that projects the European culture, or what we learned from Europe.
And oppressed millions of black people.
No.
For decades.
How oppressed? We gave them work, we fed them. They grew from a tiny little group into a massive group. That's not oppression, that's feeding them. Do you understand? You only grow big if you get fed. You only start at 800 and become 50 million if you get fed. We fed them, for crying out loud. You know, enough with this nonsense.
But so you understand,
wow.
Because the population was so oppressed under apartheid.
Well, we never saw this oppression you're talking about.
You never saw it?
No, I never saw it.
Yeah, because you're white.
Oh, you're white, he said. Like you can see it because you're white. Right on, Mr. Errol Musk, showing love to the world. That's love. If white folks had not fed the blacks, they'll be eating one another. They'll be selling the blacks off to the Muslims, Allah people. It would have been worse. And that's what's happening in my country. Why do you think we have White History Month every July? July is White History Month to warn the whites, y'all need to be making more babies. Make white babies, get married, make as many white babies as possible. We've been celebrating White History Month for the last 8 years or so, I believe, give or take. Amazing, huh? It's mind-blowing. Now I see why Elon wants immigrants so bad now. The news called Elon and his father estranged. That what the anchor baby telling me. Where you get that from?
That they're estranged?
Uh-huh.
From people. I just heard that they don't quite get along. I don't know how exaggerated that is.
Yeah, I thought they were closer now than ever.
That may be true.
I believe, and I could be wrong, so don't hold on to this, that Elon fell out with his mother, who was accused his father and all that. And the father like, And Elon went with his father. Something like that.
I thought I maybe heard that too.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but I don't care. I don't know, and I don't care. They used to be estranged in the past for sure. I don't know. That's not important. What's important is this man is telling the truth about what will happen if the white population become the minority. And he's just, look at my country. My country is going to hell in a handbasket real fast as the people of color are taking over. And the more they take over, they do not make it better. All they do is cry racism even more and louder, because that's what gets them in power, so-called power, and that's what they want to keep them there, by crying racism. Even though white people are not having babies, for the most part, and they're giving up their country, the people are still crying racism. What a right on, Mr. Errol Musk. Tell Mr. Errol Musk just as said, thank you. At least somebody have real love. That's amazing. There's a lot of talk about letting Indian people come here. For some reason, the Great White Hope, I call him the Great White Hope. Some people call him a Mason. The wind and the sea obeys him. Some people call him Daddy, but I call him the Great White Hope. He even saying that we need more Indian people in here. I'm like, what the? No, we don't. Unless it's something I don't know about, you know. Because he said that something like a lot of people in America are not qualified or something, but he want more Indian. I'm like, what the? And the Indian, I remember the president was smoking a Indian pipe-like thing. They were celebrating some type of holiday or something, Indian holiday. And they were in the White House and the president got up and said something. I don't remember. But I found out today, my producer told me that they're still celebrating over there in, I guess in India. Al Khazura is reporting dozens of villagers in South India, dozens of villagers in southern India hurl cow dump. They're not putting it down in the field as fertilizer. They're taking the cow dump and throwing it at each other. According to this report, they're throwing dung at each other for a Gorhaba festival. Ain't no way I can say all these big words. Gorhaba festival, a local ritual marking the end of Diwali. This is from Asia One News. They're throwing, when the cow used the bathroom, the Indians are picking it up and throwing it on each other, and they call that a celebration. Watch this.
In the village of Gamatapura, the final day of Diwali erupts into a spirited cow dung battle. Devotees grab handfuls of cow dung and toss it playfully, all in celebration of Bireshwara Swami. For these villagers, cow dung isn't just waste, it's holy and healing.
We celebrate this cow dung festival because our god, Lord Bireshwara Swami, was born in cow dung. That's why on the fourth day of Diwali, we come together for this unique celebration.
Beyond the fun and mess, locals believe the cow dung has powerful healing properties, curing diseases and blessing everyone who joins in the festivities.
When we play in the cow dung, many get cured of their illnesses because the god is present in it and he heals everything.
For the people of Gamatapura, this quirky and sacred tradition is a joyful tribute to their faith and a fitting, unforgettable end to Diwali.
That's amazing to me. What the cow dump? Now, I've heard of taking cow dump, and when you get ready to plant the crop, you use it as fertilizer, and that does work well. I know that. But I ain't never heard nobody saying you're going to get healed from it just because some man was born in the dump. Man, somebody need to let Trump know. Don't be bringing those. Can you imagine those people celebrating that over here? And you have to be walking down the road, they're going to throw that dump on you. What a mess. And they think it heals you. It don't even heal the cow. How it's going to heal you? It's amazing what people believe. Just because somebody else said it. You need to start seeing it for yourself, folks. What a mess. Talk about a mess. One other quick thing. This is from the Washington Post. Apparently, Tucker Carlson interviewed Nick Fuentes. And I guess, because I haven't seen any of these things yet. I've been hearing about them, but I haven't seen it. And some other people got angry because Tucker interviewed Nick. That doesn't even make sense to me. Why would you get mad because somebody else interviews somebody else? And why would you get mad if you disagree with their views? You're going to be like that gal from Florida, from Georgia, turning on Trump, and you'll cross it over to the enemy side of the world, and you're going to turn on everybody. And so they were like, the Washington Post is reporting that President Trump defended Tucker Carlson on Sunday for interviewing. I don't even want to. What's wrong with being a white nationalist? I'm a black nationalist. It just means you love your country, and I love my country, so I'm gonna be a black nationalist. You're supposed to love your country. If you don't love it, why are you here? But anyway, they call him a white nationalist, Nick Fuentes. I've interviewed Nick a couple of times. It was fun. I spoke at his conference. It was amazing. And Marjorie was there, and they were loving her. And now she's like, oh, no, what the? But anyway, nearly 3 weeks after the former Fox News host triggered backlash within the conservative movement for giving the far-right activists a platform. I love how the folks put names on people and try to make them appear bad. Watch this from Fox News.
The formula, yeah.
Mr. President, Tucker Carlson recently had a friendly interview with anti-Semite Nick Fuentes. Tucker Carlson, what role do you think Tucker Carlson should play in the Republican Party and the conservative movement going forward?
Well, I found him to be good. I mean, he said good things about me over the years. I think he's good. We've had some good interviews. I did an interview with him. We had 300 million hits. You know that. Look, I can't tell him. Will you let me finish my statement? You are the worst. You're with Bloomberg, right? You are the worst. I don't know why they even have you.
The great
We've
white
had
hope.
some great interviews with Tucker Carlson. But you can't tell him who to interview. I mean, if he wants to interview Nick Fuentes, I don't know much about him, but if he wants to do it, get the word out. Let him, people have to decide. Ultimately, people have to decide.
Absolutely. I rest my case. Absolutely. And they call him amazing. Some call him daddy. Some call him king, and they hold king rallies. I call him the great white hope. He's absolutely right. Tucker Carlson can interview whomever he wants. And ain't nobody but business but his. If I decide to take the notion and jump in the ocean, ain't nobody business if I do. Yeah. Ain't nobody business. Tucker can, this is America. You can interview who you want. You can talk to who you want. You don't have to talk to who you don't want to. That's called freedom. And nobody has a right to get mad at somebody because they disagree with you. Isn't that amazing? I don't care what they say. You don't have a right to be angry at anyone for any reason. There's never, ever, 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 but never, ever, ever, ever a reason to be angry. Not one. And you better catch on to that real soon because human beings are nasty, evil, critical, vicious, no love human beings. There's no love in human nature. You're dealing with evil. So right on to the great white hope. Whether you agree with Nick or Tucker, they have a right to do it. Just like you have a right to be wrong. You can be wrong all that you want, and God's not going to bother you about it. You're not going to say, you know what, you're wrong, now I'm taking back your body or something. He gave you the gift of life, and he said, here's the gift, do what you want with it. You want to be miserable? Be miserable. You want to be happy? Be happy. RN News is reporting CNN anchor Jack Taper said he reached out multiple times to JD Vance office for comment and for a condemnation of Nick Fuentes, but they refused to respond. Watch this from CNN.
Vice President JD Vance, considered the next leader in the MAGA line of succession. He's no stranger to questions about Republicans espousing anti-Semitism in the last few months, following the Young Republicans texting scandal, which included one message where one of the Young Republicans said, quote, "I love Hitler." Vice President Vance characterized those expressing outrage as, quote, pearl clutching. Fuentes is, of course, a Nazi of a more loathsome order than those on that text chain, and he has a history of going after not just Jews, but Vice President Vance. He said a number of nasty things about his wife.
Now they're all in favor of a fat race mixer who's married to a Jeet who named his son Vivek.
Now, this week and last, I repeatedly asked Vance's office for any comment about this internal war about Fuentes, specifically about Tucker Carlson platforming Fuentes, and there was no response.
Thank you. He doesn't have to respond if he doesn't want to. Stop responding to the world. You owe the world no explanation. Zero. Take control of your own life. Really. Stop responding to Satan. And somebody need to tell this Taper guy, Jack Tapper, stop being mama. And especially on CNN. Those people have no love for Nick or Tucker. Zero. Or JD Vance. That's when Marjorie Taylor was a sellout, a traitor. She went to the enemy territory. This guy Taper goes on to berate JD Vance. Watch this from CNN.
This weekend, Vance did weigh in on something related to this issue. It had to do with another member of the Carlson family, Tucker's son, Buckley, who works for Vance. And Vice President Vance, attacked just some rando on Twitter as a, quote, scumbag because this woman claimed that Tucker's brother idolizes Nick Fuentes and questioned whether Tucker's son Buckley, who works for Vance, is a vile bigot, too. Clearly, neither President Trump nor Vice President Vance are shy about attacking or insulting anyone they don't like. They have opted to not do so when it comes to Nazis like Nick Fuentes.
Nazi? What? I didn't even know Tucker had a son. That's his son?
I'm learning that too.
Well, and I used to watch Tucker all the time on Fox News. I didn't know he had a son, especially that old that he working with somewhere like that. What? Right on.
Those are some interesting names. Tucker and Buckley.
I know.
Where did those come from?
Amazing. He is the deputy, I'm told that he is the deputy press secretary for JD. It's interesting how the children of evil, when they want to control you, when they want a reaction, they put out some of the names that sound horrible in order to get a reaction. That's why they do it. They just ain't say, oh, I disagree. They got to call you names. They're evil. This video I'm about to show you is, for me, it is extremely interesting in so many ways. If you want to be free, folks, you got to overcome the world inside of you and outside of you. Otherwise, you don't have a chance. You don't have a chance. And it's going to only get worse because you will not enter into the new world within this world. There's a world inside of you. There is a world, a new world. It's completed, and all you have to do is live in it, and life will be fun. Not the fun, the miserable fun you have, and you call misery fun. This will be like real fun. I want to show you this video. And speaking of black excellence, and this is black on black stuff. And who are you going to blame for that? Who are you going to blame? This is from Fox News. A mother and her son, and her 9-year-old son, were seriously injured during an attack by a group of children that were captured in a viral video Monday afternoon in Chicago, South Deering neighborhood. Watch this from Fox 32 News.
Well, there is outrage in South Deering tonight. A mother and child beaten on the way home from school.
The attack was caught on cell phone video and has sparked demands for immediate action.
That's right. And community members, as you mentioned, they want answers. Now, Mayor Brandon Johnson and other elected officials tonight are condemning the attack as well, calling it deeply disturbing. And we need to warn you, it is heartbreaking to watch this video. It happened yesterday, shortly after school dismissal, and we have blurred and frozen the video before things escalate. Chicago police are now investigating after a 33-year-old mother named Korshanda and her 9-year-old son were viciously attacked near 106th and Bensley. Her young daughter was also there. The terrifying incident unfolded just a couple blocks away from Orville Bright Elementary School, where the boy is a student. Korshanda says they were walking home when a group of kids began following them, then started punching and kicking the mother and son.
They fought my son, they hit my son first, all in his face. Then they dragged me in the grass and pulled my little baby hair. I'm trying to get justice for my son. I'm thankful for everybody that came out here today to support me.
Amazing. And I want to remind you, so what happened was this morning when Derek showed it to me, he showed me the actual, without the fading of the young black kids, the actual video, but he shouldn't show it here because they blur out the kid's face. And these are young black kids fighting this lady and her son. And it looked like a mob of wild animals just came together, like they all walking in the woods. And they came together and they decided to attack this other animals that was alone and helpless. And the young black kids were yelling and screaming and cursing and just literally beating this woman like they're trying to kill a hog for slaughter in December so they have some food for the rest of the winter.
Community members.
It was amazing. And let me show you part 2 of this, then I'll tell you, explain what I see about it. This is the so-called community members rally outside of the 9-year-old son's school calling for justice, and local rappers said he want to fly the mother and the son to L.A. I'm like, why? To get them beat up in L.A. too? What? Watch this from Fox 32.
Community members rallied outside the school today with the boys' parents calling for justice. Korshanda says her son has been bullied at Bright and claims the administration isn't doing enough to protect him. We have Chicago Public Schools' response, but first, a local rapper, Lil Zay Osama, is now coming forward to help. He says he wants to fly the mom and son to LA for dinner and Christmas shopping and has a message for other children listening.
It's just something that shouldn't be going on. Kids should be able to go to school and be comfortable walking home from school and at school learning, you know what I'm saying?
A CPS spokesperson tells us in part, we are horrified by the attack on this family, and we are working collaboratively with city departments and agencies.
So, yeah, they get beat up, so bring them to L.A. for lunch and buy them some toys and make them feel good. Send them back to Chicago and they'll get beat up again. But what's interesting about this whole thing, they held this rally at the school, right? And you see these men standing around and grown adult men and women standing around, and they're calling for no justice, no peace kind of thing. And they want the government to do something about it. And it's all just a show. It just showcase personality because they know the government is not going to do anything about this. And especially the government in Chicago, this has been going on for years. This is not new. And they pretend that they're caring, and it just feels good to show up and scream out, the government got to do something about this. And then the mayor sent out a press release or whatever he said, and they said how bad this is, they got to do something. And then the young rapper want to bring them to California to have lunch. It's all showcase. It's not going to solve one problem at all. It's going to only get worse. It's not going to get better. It has never gotten better. And they've been doing this for years, fighting one another and then rally and protest. We got to do something about it. And the mayor, Brandon, could care 2 cents about this. He wanted to be like this. And so does the governor and the other folks running the government in Chicago. Because if they didn't want it to be this way, it wouldn't be happening. They want it. They want you fighting. They want you relying on them, thinking that they're going to do something about it, so you can keep voting them in, and then you stay in your misery. And I can't blame the mayor and the governor and all those people because you, as an adult, as an individual, male and female, are responsible for your own life. You're responsible for your life. The problem is not outside of you, it's inside of you. And there's nothing that anyone can do about that but you. And they're relying on somebody else to fix what they think the outer situation is, and it's going to make them feel better. It's not. They are wrong. They're wrong. Those kids, as according to the story, allegedly fighting, those kids are fighting because that's what they're getting at home with their parents. What you see the kids doing is what the parents do. It's the parents that when you see those kids, you're looking at their parents. And no law and no government can do anything about that. But what the government can do, bring back the police, fund the police, put the police back on the street and let them do their job. And don't call them racist and sexist and all that when they do it. Bring back bail bond and don't let these people just walk in and out of jail. That's what the government can do, but they won't. They're even fighting Donald Trump, the great white hope. Some people call him amazing. Other people call him king. Some people even call him daddy. I call him the great white hope. They don't want him to come in. He's there now trying to clean up the crime and the illegal aliens and all that stuff going on. Brandon, mayor, so-called Mayor Brandon, black mayor now, and the Mexican, I guess the governor is Mexican. They don't want the president there doing anything about it because they don't want the problem to end. But the people are relying on the outer source. They don't care. They'll still vote these people in. And then they'll go to the Governor Pritzker. Oh, he's Jewish. What the? Why you had to tell me that part?
You said he's Mexican.
I thought he was Mexican.
He looks Italian to me, but I
he
looked him up.
looked like Italian.
Yeah, typical Chicago person.
And they don't want to do anything about it. They're not going to do anything. The government is not there to make you feel good emotionally. Even Donald Trump, he's doing what he can do physically to make you surrounding, your physical surroundings safer. But he can't do anything about your emotional state, your mental state. And they don't want the president doing that at all. They mad at Trump and they tell the people how to fight against Trump because they don't want. Why can't you see that they want to use you? Why do you think they have kept this idea of racism around forever? Something that doesn't even exist. It's just a word. They don't want you to be free. They want you scared. They're like Satan. Satan wants you afraid. Satan, evil, wants you angry. It wants you jealous, revengeful, and all that. That's why he keeps lying to you over and over, bringing on the feeling of worry and doubt and fear and anger so he can control you. That's what these people, they have the same God you're serving, small g God, that you're serving, Satan, evil, and they want power. Do you have that clip of the so-called Mayor John reaction, Brandon?
I do.
Let's play
We're
that.
5 seconds away from the break.
Okay, I'll play it when I come back. But when will you wake up and take control of your own life? Because the situation, the problem is inside of every individual. It's not outside. It is happening outside of you too, but inside of others. Why can't you see that? If you're hurting, it's because you're wrong. It's you. It's not someone else. And no law, no nothing can do anything about that. And the government is not made for that. It made to, we hired the government to protect us physically. That's not even happening anymore. 888-77-JESSE. A quick break. Back in a moment. Before I go to the calls, I want to just quickly show you, because it's Black Excellence Hour. I want to show you that these people are crying out to the government to save them. The government can't help you. And the government don't want to help you. Especially the kind of government we have now. The leaders of the government are about themselves. They have the same spirit you have, which is evil, right? And they use this idea of power and status in order to keep it alive. So they need you to keep voting for them. And the only way you're going to keep voting for them is that you got to be afraid. You keep voting for Satan out of fear. You got to be vicious and angry and resentful. What a terrible way to live, huh? And then, but they're not. They want you holding your rally. They want you holding your rallies and begging them to come help. They never come. As a matter of fact, they make it even more difficult. Okay, y'all want me to come? You want us to come? We're going to defund the police. We're going to blame it on the police. We're going to blame it on so-called racism. We're going to blame it on slavery. We're going to blame it on everybody but the individual. They don't come and help you. There's no one to help you. The problem is inside of you. Overcome this situation inside of you, all the problem will disappear. They're really real. And black people got it bad. They have a socialist mentality because for give or take 70 years or so, they've been totally relying on the government. They've been relying on their so-called black leadership, even nutty leadership like Jasmine Crockett. They've been relying on welfare, affirmative action, reparations, and now DEI. They got it bad. That's why they voted for Mondami. They voted for Allah Arbab person to run their city because he promised them free stuff. And they think that's love. And they voted in their enemy. It's mind-blowing that in the United States of America, you vote in your enemy. And you all know that Allah Arbab people hate Christians and Jews. They think you're infidels and worthy of death, and whatever it takes to deceive you, to destroy you, they would do it. And you voted in Mondami. You voted in Talib Rashid, whatever her name is. And then you voted in Ilhan Omar. What a mess. Talk about darkness. Huh? So here is the mayor of Chicago who could care less. The mayor of Chicago mad at Trump and helping the enemy to stay in misery because he doesn't want it to get better. And the people can't see it. Watch this from Fox and his response to the attack, alleged attack by these young people on this lady and her child Watch this.
Absolutely, just gut-wrenching. It's appalling.
Mayor Brandon Johnson is frustrated after watching this viral social media video. It's caught the attention of those out of state. A Chicago mom, 33-year-old Corshonda Hatter, and her 2 children were attacked by students in the South Deering neighborhood near Orville Bright School.
We want to make sure that those individuals who are involved in this brutal attack, that there's accountability. But there's also something very disturbing about children carrying out such a violent act. There's clearly a need for some intervention there as well.
And right now, CBS has not released any consequences the students involved may face. The mayor's office says there will be increased police presence around the school the rest of the week.
This is absolutely appalling. It will not be tolerated. This really should not be happening. This is appalling. This is horrendous. He said all the emotional words to make you think he cares. He doesn't at all. Because if he did, he could have solved these problems years ago. Because they've been elected black after black after black as a black representatives, mayors and whatever, governors and everything. He doesn't, Brandon putting on an act, an emotional act to get an emotional response from you. He doesn't care about that. If he cared, he would already funded the police and brought them back and got rid of the no bail bond, and he would not be allowed a so-called sanctuary state for illegal aliens. It's all a game. It's a lie that's been played upon you. And these people that are out there fighting, and then these stupid men marching, oh, we shall overcome kind of thing. They're dumb too, and they're expecting the government to save them. Brandon is mad at Trump for bringing the ICE agents to try to clean up the mess. They're fighting against Trump. But yet they pretend, oh, this is horrendous. This is so appalling. Inwardly, he's thinking, right on, vote for me. He's thinking, right on, the more afraid you are, it's easier it is for you to vote for me. I got you. I'm sick of seeing these rallies. And that's all they are, just real. And everybody go home at night, and then the next day they start over again. And years go by. And that's right, this rapper want to bring them to L.A. to have lunch. You got beat up, come on, by some other black kids. Come on down to L.A. have lunch. And we'll buy you some toys and send you back to the hood. Amazing, huh? It's going to get worse. And I'm sick of black people crying slavery and Jim Crow. They're talking about something that doesn't even exist anymore. Slavery ended over 150 years ago. Think about that. And then they say, well, it's the repercussions of slavery. It's because you can't. I'll let my chair up. Adjust my chair. It's because the white people took our money, so now you got to catch up. Catch up with whom? And what black person died, it was enslaved, and it left you a lot of money anyway. If you haven't caught up with life 150 years later, you ain't going to catch up with life. You're going to still be, the black men and the women, you're still going to blame the white man. And you're going to want free stuff. What happened 150 years ago was then. It doesn't even exist anywhere but in the mind. And that's evil, keep reminding you of it. The politicians remind you because they want to keep you angry and afraid to vote for them. And Satan remind you because he want to keep you afraid. And you keep voting for evil. Why don't you wake up and take control of your own life? If not now, when? If you're hurting, it's in you. You are wrong, and no one can do anything about it. You can even take toad, whatever they draw from the frog, and drink it, and you'll be high thinking you with God, and come back and God ain't even there. You're like, what the? I think it's, what? Oh,
I think
venom?
it's toad venom.
That's what they're drinking?
Yeah, it's like these toads, right, they're trying to protect themselves. This stuff's supposed to kill you.
What?
But you take just a little bit, and instead of dying, you get high.
The toad stuff, the venom will kill you?
Well, it's supposed to, when I hear the word venom, I hear this a chemical animal secretes to protect itself and kill others.
But these people drink it according to the report, and they get high.
Right.
They space out, and they see God. But anyway, another story for another day. It's Bible Thumper Thursday. One quick thing I want to share with you, and this is from Obadiah 1:3-4. Obadiah. This is so good too, and so true. The pride of your heart has deceived you. Think about that one. The pride of your heart has deceived you. Forgive them, Father. I'm saying it's not in Obadiah, but forgive them, Father. They know not what they do. They are asleep. The pride of your heart has deceived you. Though you exhort yourself as the eagle, from there will I bring you down, said the Lord. He's going to bring you down. You think you're the eagle. What the? You think you're God. And you think of yourself you can do something. You think you know. You think you're in control of your own life, and you're not. All thoughts, all emotions, the so-called good ones and the bad ones, are all lies all the time about anything. You need a brand new heart. When I say you, I mean every human being on earth. Your hearts are wicked. And if you doubt me, look what you think about others. Look how you treat yourself and others. And look how others treat others. Look how they treat you. Ain't no love in that. That's a wicked heart. Look how you treat your own children and how your children treat you. Your husband or your wife or your friends or your co-workers or your enemy. Look how you treat your enemy. Your heart is wicked. Salvation is of the heart. And every human being needs a brand new heart. I don't care how, quote unquote, famous you are, how much money you have, where you live, or who you live with, or what. Your heart is wicked, and you're asleep. It's time to wake up. If not now, when? If not now, when? And I want to give you one quick example of wicked hearts. This is it's worse than that heifer that were calling the church out like, oh, you got money for my baby? It was worse than that. Well, evil is evil. I don't know if one is worse than the other. But I want to give you an example of pure evil coming through human beings. And they love it. They dance about it. They smile about it. They get joy from it because they know they have control of you. They know it. There's this female by the name of Jasmine Crockett, and she, according to this report, is campaigning with a Michigan governor candidate. And this is from Grok, Michigan Lieutenant Governor Garlin Gilchrist II. He black, a Democrat candidate for governor in 2026, collaborated with the so-called U.S. Representative Jasmine Crockett on a 20-second lip-sync video for songs by 4 non-blondes and Nicki what? He's telling me in my ear. Minaj posted over the weekend from his backyard to promote his beard. Watch this from Instagram. You still want black people running your government? This is what you're getting. These same kind of people run the hoods of the black people, and you want them in your government. Now, do you believe me when I say, if white people become the minority in America, you're doomed. As what's his face daddy said, allegedly. What's his name, daddy? He got it on TikTok. Nobody knows who owns TikTok out there? Elon Musk daddy said, if white allegedly, I mean X, not TikTok, my bad. He on X. No wonder they know who I'm talking about. Right on there. Elon Musk allegedly daddy said, if white people become minority in America, America is doomed. And I agree. Look at Jasmine Crockett and that black man look like he's from Africa. That's what you got in your government. What do you think going to happen? These people don't know how to run. Black people do not know how to run anything. That's more a government. But okay, do what you want, white folks. You're losing your country. There's this report from Live Now Fox. A black female so-called representative from Florida was allegedly caught stealing FEMA funds. This woman by the name, according to this report, Congressman Sheila McCormick, a Democrat from Florida, has been indicted by a federal grand jury on charges of stealing federal disaster funds, laundering the proceeds, and using the money to support her 2021 congressional campaign. Watch this from WPLG Local 10.
Congresswoman Sheila Sherfilis McCormick responding to new criminal charges, accusing her of stealing millions of dollars in FEMA funds.
And I look forward to my day in court so I can prove myself and actually state the truth.
According to the indictment, Sherfilis McCormick's company, Trinity Healthcare Services, was mistakenly overpaid by more than $5 million in federal funds by the state of Florida in 2021. Prosecutors say she and a family member then used that money for their own benefit, including funneling more than $1 million into her campaign for Congress. In court records, investigators claim the scheme involved shuffling that stolen money into different companies and bank accounts.
But if this is what Congress is becoming, where they're always trying to intimidate you, scare tactics, especially attacking minorities, black and brown people, then we're going to have to keep fighting for the district.
Aren't you sick of black people using this black and brown thing as an excuse? Victims. It has worked in their mind for years now, and they still use it. Black and brown, black and brown. And it had nothing to do with her color, zero. But it's been working as for what they think working is. I knew she was going to say black and brown. Victim mentality people are nasty, evil people. They're living in the bottomless pit of hell. Somebody should have told her, lady, shut up. What do you mean about black and brown? Either you did or you didn't. I don't know if you did or not, but stop the black and brown mess. Go back to Africa with that mess. Black and brown. That's the first thing the blacks cry. And white people, you keep electing these people. Well, some of them. Because a lot of them are in black areas, and the black people elect them because they're black, not because they're qualified. This female is, according to the report, she's stepping down on a leadership role from Foreign Affairs Subcommittee, and Democrats are defending her. Of course. Watch this.
The Democrat is stepping down from her leadership role on a Foreign Affairs Subcommittee, but party leaders defending her on Capitol Hill.
Sheila is entitled to the presumption of innocence like every other American.
Just a day after the indictment, Local 10 finding Sherfilis McCormick outside her office in Washington and asking her about those calls to resign.
What's your response to the calls from some of your colleagues to step down or resign?
They didn't elect me. It was my district. And so we'll keep fighting for the people and keep working like we're doing now.
Amazing. Black and brown. Black and brown. And I'm wondering out loud, did anybody ever assume Trump, the great white hope, innocent until proven guilty? Any of these people, any of them. Did anyone ever assume him innocent until proven guilty? I'm just saying out loud. And even though some people call the great white hope amazing, what manner of man is this? The world obeys him. Some people call him king, and they hold king rallies around the world. And for the flat earther, up and down the world. Some people call him daddy. Some people call him the great white hope. Well, I do. And let me just see what he has to say this morning. It's a rainy day in L.A. Let me see what the great white hope has to say.
I love the First Amendment. Nobody loves it better than me. Nobody. Who uses it more than I do?
I rest my case. The great white hope is, according to the report, has even said, why y'all mad at Tucker Carlson for an interview or having a discussion with Nick Fuentes? This is America. You have a right to do it. Victims, any kind of victim, is a dangerous person. Male or female, it doesn't matter the color. or what you have or don't have. They always do the black and brown people, black and brown. It's amazing how over the years the black victims have brought in the Mexicans and others to be a part of their mess. And the Mexicans don't even like the blacks. They don't like them at all, so they don't get along. If you doubt me, go over and hang out for a minute in South Central or East LA or the schools were predominantly black and brown. You see what's going on? They don't like each other at all. Zero. Amazing, huh? I want to show you a female that's sitting on the throne of Satan, playing the role of victim, and there's no end to her destruction. She's pure evil, and it doesn't matter what she got, what you do for her, you can't please her because she has a victimized mentality, and the more you give her, the more she wants. You can't make a victimized person satisfied. You can't satisfy. Don't even try. This woman, this female is demonic, and this is like such a perfect example that it don't matter what you get, you're still going to be a victim until you overcome evil. All victimized mentality people are evil, and they only want what they want. And it doesn't matter who they hurt, what they have to do to get it, they will. This is from Yahoo News. Michelle Obama, Big Mama Michelle. They're not saying Big Mama, but I'm calling it. She is Big Mama. Remember when she was in the White House, she was trying to make you feed your children chips and stupid food while she was eating all the ribs and the enchilada or whatever Obama said she liked. Big Mama Michelle Obama has shut down the idea she might one day run for president yet again. While speaking to Tracy Ross this month at the Brooklyn Academy of Music, Big Mama Michelle, I'm saying Big Mama, Obama insisted the United States is not ready for a woman to lead. Well, she's right about that one, because the United States knows that women should not be put in leadership roles. Now, I want you to know, this female was in the White House. She was the first lady in the White House in the greatest country in the world. And she, according to the report, I don't know, but I've been told she came from the hood of Chicago. And she ended up in the White House. And she still is not satisfied. It still didn't make her happy. She's still in her own mind, a victim. She's a dangerous female. And she will hurt anyone to get what she wants and say anything to get what she wants. She will accuse you of being racist, sexist, all kind of issues. She is evil. Here's Tracy asking Michelle Obama about her role as First Lady, a role built on racist and misogynist ideas. Watch this from X.
You stepped into a role that carried a preconceived idea of femininity and wifedom that was founded on the landmines of racism and misogyny. What the First Lady wears is one of the main ways, which you've already said, that a First Lady is talked about. It comes with so much historical expectation. How do you feel about the fact that the First Lady is an archetype for wifedom and femininity?
Yeah, I don't agree with that. Don't agree with that. It's, you know, it is a completely throwback on. It's a definition that has no current status in how women actually show up in the world today.
Amazing. Isn't that amazing? You voted in the daughter of Satan, into the White House. And I tried to tell you, her heart is wicked, and there's no love. You voted for her, and she called that racism. It's built on racism. You voted for your enemy, just like you've done with Mandami up in New York. That female is evil. She's been in the White House, and yet she believed, which is not true, it's misogynist and racism. Enough is not enough for her. You cannot satisfy an evil heart. There's nothing you can do for anyone that has a wicked heart. Zero. And Michelle Obama's heart is wicked. How would you like to be married to that one? Isn't that amazing? Just think about that. Tracy then asked Michelle if the standard for women in the White House affect a woman's chance of becoming a president?
That impacts the room that we've made for a woman to be president?
Well, as we saw in this past election, sadly, we ain't ready. That's why I'm like, don't even look at me about running, because you all are lying. You're not ready for a woman. You are not. So don't waste my time. You know, we got a lot of growing up to do. And there's still, sadly, a lot of men who do not feel like they can be led by a woman, and we saw it.
You can't.
What was the question?
I just said, we don't need to ask it again. You answered it.
That's evil. And men cannot be led by a woman. It's not the order. God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, not women over men. It doesn't work. Women can't even lead their own life. When you leave them to themselves, they go nuts, like Michelle. And enough isn't enough. They put Kamala Harris, a dummy, cackling dummy, up there. And look what happened. And white people, you want these kind of black people running your country. As Errol Musk said, if it's true that he said it, if white people don't start by having babies, if they become minority in America, they are doomed. They are doomed. Because this is what you're getting. People like Michelle and cackling, whatever her name is, Camilla. If ever we needed the order of truth, we need it now. It's not about the color. It's not about male or female. It's about good versus evil. And Michelle Obama is pure evil. There's no good in her at all. You can find good if you went over to South Mommy Africa and down in the rocks looking for it. It's not there. This female been in the White House. First lady, quote unquote, in the White House. And in her mind, she's still a victim because she's evil. And you cannot satisfy an evil person. Even God cannot help an evil person unless they invite him in and they want to overcome evil with good. That's the only way it's going to happen. And I'm so sick of these people use this word racism. It doesn't even fit anymore. Last soundbite about this helpful. Michelle Obama stated that she has to straighten her hair every day to fit a white beauty standards. Watch this from X.
What does she mean? That's what white folks are. It's like, what does that mean? What are you saying? We're saying nothing except I just don't want to have to do my hair every day. And I want to go swimming. I don't want to have to worry about it. Let me explain something to white people. Our hair comes out of our head naturally in a curly pattern. So when we're straightening it to follow your beauty standards, we are trapped by the straightness. That's why so many of us can't swim. And we run away from the water. People won't go to the gym because we're trying to keep our hair straight for y'all. It is exhausting and it's so expensive and it takes up so much time. Braids are for y'all so we can work harder and focus on the work. So why do we need an act, an act of law to tell white folks to get out of our hair? Don't tell me how to wear my hair. Don't wonder about it. Don't touch it. Just don't.
That's evil, pure evil. And who want a nappy-headed first lady in the White House? Can you imagine a first lady with a fro? What a sad, my country's gone. See how evil she's? White people, y'all voted for her. You voted for Obama twice. And this is what you put in the White House, and look what they've done to the country. And listen how she's talking about you, and you voted for her. She got to straighten her hair for your white folks. She's evil. And an audience applauding, they are agreeing with the devil because they are children of the lie. Michelle, look, a woman with beautiful hair, that's her beauty. If you know a woman with a fro don't look right, or when even any woman that cut the hair off and they got a little boy haircut, does that look right? They don't look feminine and beautiful. Grow your hair, straighten your hair, whatever it takes. And there's nothing wrong with that. But Michelle, look how this female is speaking. And she's been in the White House as the first lady supposed to be representing America. And this is her thinking. And the people applaud. Like they do in the church just because somebody mentioned Jesus. A victimized mentality person is a wicked person. And it doesn't matter what you give them, they will still turn on you. It doesn't matter what you give, they will turn on you because their heart is wicked. Michelle Obama, because she was the first lady of the country, sit at the throne at the gates of hell, representing her father, the devil. Her heart is wicked.